Well, good evening from a rather pleasant, if what, chilly Dunseverick Harbour. Well, Dunseverick Harbour is just down here just in front of you here. We're kind of heading up this way towards Dunseverick Waterfall. Now, I don't think I'm going to be shooting Dunseverick Waterfall tonight. Was there last night, and I think it's one of those ones for later in the year when the sun is a little bit higher in the sky, around sort of 6-7 o'clock in the evening. So, but what I did notice last night as I was walking back to the car was, as the sun gets lower in the sky, it casts beautiful reflections off the rock face into the pools that are formed by the outgoing tide. So we're going to give that a go. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is if I panel along. So this is Dunseverick Harbour. Just in the distance you have Port Ballantrae, Ballantoy, get the names right, and then this is, I mean, you can just see the beautiful evening light starting to take effect on these rocks. So yeah, see you in a bit. So, don't get too far into the field actually. You may have seen that clip that I played previously just as I was walking in. I kind of noticed this. I love how this hillside is kind of curved around with the sort of divots in. You can see that the sun's kind of in and out playing with us. There's a bit of a bank of cloud going above. Buzzard up there as well. A couple of them maybe. Anyway, the concern I have about this particular shot is down here, very much in shadow. And again, this is going to be one of those shots potentially for later in the year. The sun was kind of more across here, lighting up this gully at least a little bit, lighting up some of those rocks at least a little bit, lighting up the bay at least a little bit. You kind of, your eye follows through here, and then it just becomes very dark down in the bay, and I don't particularly think that's working too well. But I really like how the kind of hillside, and of course with the evening light on the hillside, it's just beautiful. Gorgeous light. I tried a vertical composition. That worked slightly better because, again, you're removing a lot of that dark area. But again, there's just maybe a little bit not enough light on some of the most important pieces of the areas in the image. So we'll keep looking for a composition, but I'll throw up some of the tester shots that I did after I finished babbling, and you can see what I mean about the darkness. Here comes that evening light again, which is just stunning. Anyway, onwards. I'm going to go across to some pools of water actually that are still taking on the evening light, so which was my initial intention before I got distracted. See you in a bit. So I've kind of found a composition, I think. these rock pools are starting to take on a little bit of the evening light. The big issue is going to be, well, I really want the sun to come up. At the moment it's still behind the bank of clouds. The big issue with the sun coming up is going to be me casting a shadow. But when the sun is on these rocks, it's just stunning. This is Rathlin Island out in the distance. You may not be able to see it. Let me see if I can bring the exposure down on the video. Yeah, so Rathlin Island is just out there on the coast. So I'm using a 3-stop and a 2-stop ND soft grad, which is just again bringing down the highlights in the clouds, and of course that beautiful warm evening light on Rathlin Island. As the sun hopefully starts to hit the rocks in front of me, I may need to remove one or both of those ND grads and maybe replace it, well, maybe just use the 2-stop, maybe just use a 3-stop, or maybe use a 1-stop. But it all depends on this sun. It's a very slow moving cloud by the looks of things. Isn't it always the way that we have lots of space in the sky and then a giant dirty big cloud all the way across the sun? Why is that? Why is the cloud on a reasonably clear day in front of the sun? Answers on a postcard. I'm sure some science boffin knows the answer. Anyway, again, so kind of from a composition point of view, going horizontal, it's calling to me vertical, but I'm trying horizontal because there's lots and lots of the puddles. But the really nice thing about the square filter system is, you know, obviously quite easy to sort of turn things around if you go vertical versus landscape mode. So plane doesn't sound the best. That would be a hell of a picture. Way, way, way in the distance, you probably won't be able to see it, is Ballantoy Church. Absolutely beautiful. And an iconic symbol of the North Coast, especially at sunset, when it's illuminated by the evening sun. So, just wave at the plane. Whatever you reckon. Anyway, actually, even with the sun kind of setting, those puddles are really starting to take on a little bit of evening light. So I might fire off some shots and see how we go. In terms of settings, exposing for the foreground. So I'm on a 1/10 of a second at f13, ISO 200, and then 5 stops of grad just to bring down the highlights. I'm also shooting with a 1/3 of a stop negative exposure as well, just to bring those down a little bit more. Remember, it can be easier to recover lost shadows than to recover lost highlights. Well, at least I find that anyway. Obviously I'm not going to go completely crazy, but I'm just a smidge of negative exposure, just so I can pull those shadows back up again in post. Right, this sun looks like it is about to do what it's about to do. I bet you it does nothing. We'll see. Wow. If I just turn around and let, so you can see that sun just lit the place up. Hopefully you can see that. Just these rocks just taking on that beautiful even light. Unfortunately, not into the pools of water as much now, so we're still very kind of on the left. Yes, your eye potentially can move around, but really would love some light in the bay. Ballantoy Chapel Church right on the distance there, lit up. Rathlin Island just starting to lose a little bit of colour. Sheep Island here, still bathed in evening light. And of course the clouds just are magnificent. I mean, pretty perfect indeed. The north coast of Ireland is a photographer's dream. No doubt about it. Just beautiful. I mean, this area alone, with these rocks and these little pools of water and different times of the year, and yeah, just beautiful. So most of the light at this point is now disappearing. I'm probably not going to get over to the other side, which is where I wanted to shoot. I just got distracted by this. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, right now, over here, you know, I'm again thinking to myself, right, you know, the sun, even though it's disappearing from this part, you know, just a mile down the road, not a bad end to the day. And you know, even if you don't get a shot on an evening like this, it is an absolute privilege to be out in it. An absolute privilege. But yeah, just quickly before I go, so compositionally, what I was looking at, I shot a horizontal and a vertical. I think with the way the rocks kind of are almost stretched anyway, it's the only way I can kind of describe them, with all the sort of divots and the lines in them. I actually think a sort of a 10mm horizontal really just gives that expanse. And then of course, because we've got these nice big fluffy clouds, they also work wonders with a horizontal wide angle as well. I ended up shooting just with the 2-stop grad. Obviously, as the light started to drop, and especially as it took on the light took on, or started to be at the foreground, I didn't need so much balance between the sky and the foreground. So I ended up shooting with a 2-stop soft edge grad. Shooting at f13, 10th of a second, and ISO 200. And then I was playing about just a little bit with the exposure compensation, just shifting it maybe a third, negative exposure compensation, just to kind of keep some of those details in the sky. So just fire off another couple of shots here, just as that last glow is just doing its thing. Shooting here, just let up a bit. So we're shooting here. I'm actually just going to give a you have time to play about too much with the filters. Still keeping the detail in the sky. Now I've got nice detail on the rocks as well. And in fact, this little pool down here is actually starting to take on some of that colour, which is pretty nice. And of course, Rathlin Island just looks beautiful, doesn't it? Stunning. So we're actually down now to a 1/4 of a second. Probably going to bring my... There's a really nice reflection just here and here. Might just move my composition just a little bit. Right. I'll give one last update before I pack up for the night. But